Okay, latest technology trend. So what happened here is this. I just go and simply Google this term, latest technology trend, and one of the document that pop up very nicely is actually this one. So of course, there's quite a few documents. So by the way, of course, you're going to get the video as usual. If you want, you can just go and, key in this web address, and then of course, you can actually get hold of the latest document. So basically, as per this article suggests, they actually highlighted 24 technological trends. 24 technology trends. So I have some personal favorites. So I have some personal favorites. Once again, these are my favorites. So blockchain, EVAV, health tech, augmented reality, robotics. So of course, to each his own. It doesn't mean that whatever I've chosen is the best. Doesn't mean that whatever I have chosen is, sure make money. No, it's just some personal favorite things that I understand. Okay, things I understand, or at least, I believe it's going to happen really soon. Okay, so what I'm actually going to do next year is this to really, either give you an update or explaining what is all this new tech about. So to start off, first thing first is actually blockchain. Okay, by the way, maybe can I just ask, if you are invested in Bitcoin, if you're invested in Bitcoin, don't mind just help me type a 1 onto the chat. If you have not invested in Bitcoin, please help me type a 0. 1 if you're invested in Bitcoin, 0 if you have never invested in Bitcoin. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. Interesting. Interesting. Wow. Okay. Yeah, maybe I rephrase the question. If you think that Bitcoin equal blockchain, don't mind just help me type a 8. If you think that Bitcoin and blockchain are different, don't mind just help me type a 9. If you think that Bitcoin equal blockchain is a 8, Bitcoin and blockchain are different, it's a 9. Okay, great. Thank you so much. Yeah, most of you got it correct. Actually, Bitcoin is Bitcoin, blockchain is blockchain. Yeah, so, this technology is actually something quite interesting to me because it's something I believe. And yes, thank you so much. Bitcoin doesn't mean it's equal to blockchain. Blockchain is a lot larger than Bitcoin. So let me just go through some explanation. Of course, for those who are familiar, please feel free to chip in. I am actually sharing all this research based on my own desktop research. I'm definitely not, or at least coming more from like an investor perspective, I'm definitely not an expert in all this technology. What I did is really just go and scroll through the websites. I have a question. I have some questions looking for answers to my questions, and that's how I try to understand. So of course, I'm quite sure we have friends here who are definitely more familiar with all this high tech. Please feel free to share. Of course, if I got it wrong, please point out. Like I said, I'm definitely not expert in all this area. Okay. Now, what is blockchain? I think instead of me trying to explain, what I'll do is actually I'll play this video, and don't mind, do me this favor. I'm not sure you can hear the sound. After I play, if you all can hear the sound, don't mind just have me type a 1 onto the chat. Okay, so here we go. So these are some questions I have in my mind, and I try to go and answer it. So of course, hopefully, this will help you. So like number one, what is the key characteristics of blockchain? So what is the main thing about blockchain? Or if you ask me, of course I may be wrong again. If anyone can know better, don't mind just share. So if you ask me why blockchain exists, or in fact the main thing about blockchain is actually about this thing called decentralization. Okay, in my personal opinion, so the main thing about this blockchain, or the main usefulness about this blockchain is actually this thing what called decentralized. We no longer need to have a central authority to authenticate. So if you really look at most of the things in detail, there is always this central authority. Like for example, if you want to tell people how rich you are, what do? You actually have to show them your bank statement. And because we trust the bank, then we say, why? Indeed, you are very rich. Okay, so there's always this central authority. Like, for example, stocks and shares. who is the central authority for stocks and shares? Can anyone maybe just help me type on the chat? Who is the central authority for stocks and shares? CDP, thank you so much. So let's say, for example, if you actually want to prove that you have a lot of stocks and shares, well, what do? You show your CDP statement. Okay, and because we trust the CDP, then we say that, oh, indeed, you have a lot of stocks and shares. So same thing, even our own identity, okay, Singaporean. How do you prove that you are Singaporean? Okay, so what do? You actually show your Singapore passport. Okay, because people actually trust the ICA, then indeed they say that, okay, indeed you are Singaporean. So you can see that in our world, okay, there is a lot of all this central authority to what we call authenticate to prove that you are indeed you have indeed money, you have indeed have stocks, okay, so on and so forth. And what blockchain try to do is, hey, why should we have this central authority? So instead of having this central authority, they actually have this thing called the blockchain to decentralize so that this network can actually prove it already. Okay, so in other words, so next time, let's say, for example, if let's say Bitcoin is really the main medium of exchange, for example, we no longer need a bank already. Okay, so in our app, we say we have how many Bitcoin. We don't really need a bank to say that, hey, indeed, Choi Min's app say that he has 20 Bitcoin, indeed has 20 Bitcoin. No, okay, because of this network, indeed, this network can actually help to prove that indeed Choi Min has the 20 Bitcoin. Okay, so this is what I understand. So of course, if you have questions, please ask. If you have things to add that you think that they can help people to understand better, please help to type on chat. Of course, feel free to unmute yourself to talk more. So yes, what is the main purpose of Bitcoin is decentralization. So of course, this is also something make me excited. Why I believe in this technology, really game changer. So seriously, when Bitcoin is, when blockchain is, let's say, commercialized or everybody use blockchain, that means the bank will be gone. Okay, we no longer need a bank. We no longer need ICA. Okay, we no longer need CDP. So whichever central organization is no longer needed. Okay, so this is actually going to be very something exciting. Of course, there are challenges, but theoretically speaking, it's going to really change how things work. Okay, now, like for example, what are already some of the real life application like cross-border payments? So of course, today is already happening. If you actually want to, you can actually pay someone using Bitcoin. So very easy lah. Okay, I do know that you all can say that, but today I want to, like, for example, transfer money to Indonesia, transfer money to Japan, also quite easy, almost instantaneous. Okay, yeah lah, but what about, let's say you want to transfer money to South America? What about if you want to transfer money to Africa? That one can still take 2 to 3 days. Or either that, even like, to North Korea, for example, for whatever reasons. Okay, that one can actually take longer. But basically, Bitcoin is borderless. There's no such concept of you are transferring money across a border. It's borderless. So that is one of the major application. Birth and death cert. So as mentioned just now, like for example, today, how do I prove that Chua Yi-min is a Singaporean? I need to have ICA to prove. Or I need to have like a passport to prove. But next time, actually no need there. So if you actually read about it, so in fact, in some countries, there's still people who are undocumented. There's still quite a few people, there's actually quite a large number of people are undocumented. And if let's say one day really blockchain is so widespread use, so you don't really need a central authority to go and document all these people. Okay, so of course, copyright royalties is something that probably I'm familiar with. NFT. So with that, you can actually prove that you are the owner of this copyright, owner of this picture, owner of this creative artwork. Also, currently, seriously, like for example, if I take a photograph, and let's say a very nice photograph, and I upload it onto the internet, there's no way for me to prove that I'm actual owner of this photograph. Someone can easily just take the photograph and use it whatever he wants or she wants. But let's say with Bitcoin, with blockchain, I could actually prove that, or with NFT, let's say I NFT it, I can actually prove that, hey, I am the real owner of this photograph. Okay, so hopefully this gives you some better ideas. So on my personal journey, then of course I still think a lot. Then where are the blockchain stored? So that is the question I actually pop up in my mind. So I actually go and dig a bit more. This is from Amazon.com. If you're interested, just go to Google Amazon and blockchain. So there's actually this thing called the public blockchain network. So basically anyone can join. All members of blockchain have equal rights to read, edit, blah, 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 so on and so forth. There is also this thing called the private blockchain network. So that means it's like certain blockchain only for private organization, not anyone can actually go in and join. So of course, you also have hybrid, you also have consortium, blockchain network. I think the most common one is the private and public ones. So just to help you understand a bit now. So I think I think this paragraph will be quite interesting. Like for example, the Bitcoin network. So Bitcoin network is actually a public ledger. Okay, recording all Bitcoin transactions, and servers around the world host copies of this ledger. So basically, there are a lot of servers. The servers are like banks, although each bank know only about the money's customer exchange. Bitcoin servers are aware of every single Bitcoin transaction in the world. So as per this article, which I believe is true, please correct me if I'm wrong. Anyone with a spare computer can set up one of these servers known as a node. This is like opening a Bitcoin bank instead of bank account. So basically, this is a public Bitcoin rests on a public network. And apparently we can also be one of the nodes on the servers. That means we can also be one of the people that actually hold all the records. Okay, hold all the database, hold all the records to actually help to prove that, know who has how much, so on and so forth. So again, this is my understanding. Okay, so by the way, what's the difference between Bitcoin and blockchain? So basically, you can think of it this way. Bitcoin rests on the blockchain network. Or either that, Bitcoin is just one of the usage of blockchain. So blockchain is definitely bigger than Bitcoin. Okay, my Bitcoin, so yeah, later I'll talk about that very soon. Okay, you hold on for a while, can okay. So another thing maybe that can help us to see things better is it. So basically, is blockchain just a set of database? So apparently, based on this explanation, yes. So you can just think of it this way: blockchain is just a type of database management system. Okay, it's just that it has more features than the regular database. So blockchain decentralized control without damaging trust, and saying that means it's not possible. Okay, so blockchain decentralized control without damaging trust in existing data. This is not possible in other data system. Basically, the data cannot be edited. So you can think of it this way: blockchain is just like a database system, but you cannot edit the data. So companies involved in a transaction cannot share their entire database, but in blockchain network, each company has its copy of the ledger, and system automatically maintain consistently between the two ledgers. So basically, everyone will have the same database. So although in most database systems you can edit or delete, in blockchain you can only insert data. Okay, so hopefully this gives you some better idea. So please, if anyone has a better way to explain, please share. Stop me if you want to and share what blockchain is. I've been trying to visualize what is blockchain. So this is the best I could do for myself. Okay. Now, how can blockchain be a business? This is from Amazon website. So of course, now if you actually go to Amazon, they're actually providing some services for blockchain. So maybe you can watch this video to see that, hey, how does this company, provide blockchain services to actually make money. Okay, so again, hopefully this one gives you more insight of blockchain. So what I understand here is like, for example, now voting. So we actually need like a central department that actually prove that, okay, number one is that vote is indeed written by you. Okay. If you actually go through election process and so on and so forth, there's a lot of steps involved to actually prove that, hey, is indeed you are the one that actually do the voting. You are the one that actually write the cross. And there's a lot of people verifying along the way. So with blockchain, so that one can actually replace all the manual process we're actually going through currently right now. So let's say we have this digital token, that one can actually help to do the verifying process. Okay, and of course, I think in Amazon they can actually provide people. If I were to try to visualize, it's like provide people with that database management system lah. Okay, which is have the features of blockchain. Okay, so that is how some of the companies can provide blockchain as a service, of course, to mine Bitcoin. So later I'll talk about Bitcoin mining soon. Okay, so hopefully this one give you some insights or make you understand blockchain better. Like I said, for those who just joined us, so today's topic is actually on, all the high tech, how to invest in high tech industries or invest in the latest technological trends. Okay, so I have actually earmarked 5 of the trends personally that I'm interested in. One is blockchain, second is EV, third is health tech, fourth is AR, and fifth is robotics. So what I'm actually doing here now is actually just give you an overview of the industry first. Of course, later I'll talk about how do I actually pick stocks within each industry. Okay, so any questions on blockchain before I move on to the next industry? Also, Ken, just hold your questions. Later I have a video on mining Bitcoin. Then maybe you can have a better understanding of what is my Bitcoin also. Okay, all good, all good. So this is blockchain is something quite yep. Okay, so blockchain is actually something quite exciting to me. I think that one, if let's say really implemented, the world is going to change. Can you imagine one day we don't have banks? We don't need banks anymore. Okay, to a certain extent, we may not even need the government anymore. Or at least the part of the government that actually do all the authentication. Okay, all good. Okay, if all good, then I just want to talk a bit about EV and AV. Okay, so hopefully it's clear. EV is cars that run on battery. So autonomous vehicle means just driverless car. Okay, driverless car. I actually just pull out on the internet. So again, I'm not expert in this area. I just go and do my research on internet. These are some of the information I pull out. So how big this EV is going to be. Of course, now EV is already running on the streets. I just want to reiterate or actually share here what kind of scale it can grow to. Like for example, in China by 2035, they will actually ban fossil fuel vehicle entirely. So which is another about 11 years. So all the cars in China will be EV. So can you imagine how much growth potential, how much growth potential for EV market is? I'm not too sure what is the size. I think later there's some statistics. India, can you see? 2030, which is just another 6 years. But of course, this one is aim. So I don't know how good is their aiming, Indian government. I'm not too sure, but at least they aim to make 100% EV nation by 2030, which is just another 6 years. Okay, so you can see that, a lot of major nations, they're actually going to change currently the fossil fuel car to electric car. So the demand for electric car is, of course, definitely going to be super huge. And of course, if you actually voice down to stocks investing, that means the business for all the car manufacturer, the battery manufacturer is actually going to be, their demand is actually going to be very strong. Of course, business is actually going to be very good for them. Okay, I actually got this report from McKinsey. This is in March 2024. So there's actually this report that talks about some of the EV trends. EV trends. So once again, you will get this video. If you want the full report, you can just key in a link, then you can get it. So in this slide, what you actually say here is this, from a consumer perspective, we are also welcoming the idea of more sustainable transportation options, which basically is EV. Okay, so basically, yes, we are going to have more EV, and the consumers, we are also interested to get into this, what do you call that, this EV trend. Okay, it's not like they actually want to introduce something new, but we are against it. No, it seems like the market is also very receptive of, changing their cars into EV, at least as per this slide. What is this slide trying to say? Okay, the other thing quite interesting here is this, now more as I'm interested in EV and one sophisticated vehicle features are interestingly, apparently next time the car can also be personalized. So there are actually more things that the car can be personalized. So of course, this one I didn't really do into detail, but I do heard something like eventually car is like phone. So like phone, like for example, now and then you actually see things like software update. Okay, there's certain updates or whatever. So someone was saying next time car also like that. Okay, or either that anyone already driving an EV and maybe you can enlighten me a bit. So they're saying that the car, you also can have like, keep having software updates. Okay, or either that you can personalize, you can actually build your own app or whatever in the car. Okay, so basically next time the car industry is actually going to be very interesting, not only EV, but there is a certain personalization you can actually make to the car. Oh yeah. So this is the one that actually talk about China EV market, how much going to grow. So if I can just read it to you, worldwide demand for passenger car in battery electric vehicle segment, this is worldwide demand will grow sixfold. Okay, sixfold from 2021 to 2030, with annual unit sales increasing to roughly 40 million from 6.5 million. So this is the amount of business all these EV manufacturers actually can go and get over the next few years. China retained its position as the world's EV hotspot in 2023 with the highest penetration rate. One out of every 4 cars in 2023 is an EV now. So China is only 25% EV. So can you imagine by they were saying 2035, the other 75% all will become EV. So think of it of the business that the companies can make. So CW Tan, thank you so much. So Tesla already got the software update already. Thank you so much. So definitely a lot of growth. Okay, so EV, one of the main components is battery. So we also want to talk a bit about the battery. So as you can see here, the demand for battery is actually going to increase almost by 2.5 times. Maybe multiply by about 2.5 times. So this is in terms of country, and you can see that this blue part is basically the EV . Okay, so the blue part is like EV, so the demand for battery is actually also going to be super huge. And 2030 is just going to be like another 6 years down the road. Also, this is the reason why I am actually quite bullish about the stocks in this sector. So I'll talk about how to pick up the stocks later. Okay, so again, what this chart shows here is this EV buyers want greater personalization, convenience, and flexibility when making a purchase. So apparently next time you can buy car online. So yep, if you're interested, you can just read more about the details here. So the key thing I want to talk about is personalization. So eventually next time we can have a lot of personalization in our car. Okay, now next is AV. AV is autonomous vehicle. So now what is level 4? Okay, level 4 here means that having the vehicle driving in a controlled area. Controlled area, like for example, in our case, I think now in NTU, if I'm not wrong, in NTU ground, please correct me if I'm wrong, there are some autonomous vehicle. So it's in a controlled area. Okay, not like everywhere. So level 5 is basically anywhere. Everywhere. Okay. So what you are seeing, or what is the main point on this chart here, is this basically the AV implementation is delayed. As you can see, I have extended by 2 or 3 years. So we are not expecting AV so soon. Okay. So if you can see here, like for example, L4 autonomous on-street parking is going to extend for another 4 years. So we should only expect it in like 2028, 2029. Okay, it's actually being delayed. So AV is actually going to be a bit slower. Okay, so basically now here explain level 4 vehicle fully autonomous within controlled environments such as robot restricted within a city. Level 5 is under all conditions already. Okay, so this two slide, what I'm trying to say here is this AV is actually going to be delayed. Okay, so these are some of the updates I have for EV and AV industry. Anybody has any questions before I go on to a new industry? Anyone? Okay, if not, the other industry that actually is very attractive to me, or the other tech industry that is actually very attractive to me, is health tech. So personally, I also see a lot of huge growth in this area. Okay, health tech. When I actually try to understand a bit more, health tech, they actually break it down into these three parts: personalized medicine, healthcare wearables, and telemedicine. Okay, so let me just explain a little bit more what are these three segments. Okay, personalized medicine, as you can read, so it's actually medical treatment to individual characteristics. So they approach users' genetic, environmental, lifestyle factor to diagnose and treat disease precisely. Advances in genomics and biotech enable doctors to select treatments that maximize effectiveness and minimize side effects. So personalized medical is particularly transformative in oncology, where specific therapies can target genetic mutations in cancer cell, leading to better patient's outcome. Okay, so as I understand, even now, sometimes when we go to doctor, so doctor also like guess, some of us, let's say headache, need 2 Panadol, some of us need 1 Panadol, some of us need 1.5, some of us actually need 3, need 4. So all of us are different. So this is what I realized. In fact, all of us are different, and yet today all the medicine are the same. Okay, Panadol, headache, 2 Panadol. Or either that very simplistic by the weight. So what this one does is, of course, is it's more detailed. Like for example, I have this friend who actually go and, I don't know, map up the gene or something like that. And then after that, with this map, they can have, at least for now, like he was able to say that, he shouldn't eat chicken, or beef is good for him, or something like that. Okay, so all of us are different. So what this business does is this, next time, whatever medicine can be more targeted, okay, based on your gene, based on the environment, are you Asian or are you Caucasian, so on and so forth, based on lifestyle factor, you smoke or don't smoke, okay, things like this. So you can be actually more targeted, more personalized, which I think, this is going to be huge, because it doesn't make sense whereby all of us are different, but yet today, when we actually go for treatment, take medicine, all of us have the same medicine. So yeah, I think this one make a lot of sense. Okay, so personalized medicine, that's one area very interested to me. Okay, now wearable health monitors. Okay, so again, this one is already happening, and I think it's actually going to do more. So basically things like, for example, Fitbit. Fitbit is the most classic case. And I realize it can do more and more. In fact, I'm actually quite surprised now that I think the latest iWatch can do ECG already, which is actually quite surprising to me. I don't know how they do it, because I remember, if you actually want to do ECG, right, you have to go and paste all the wires all over your body, then you can do ECG. But then now with the iWatch, you also can do ECG already. So quite interesting. So basically what this one says is next time we got more and more wearable health monitors. Okay, so whatever metrics, heart rate, blood pressure, blood sugar level, then of course they can also analyze, give early warning issues, so on and so forth. So again, I think this is something that going to develop more and more and more, and I'm quite sure these are things that people want. Okay, more the adoption rate will be high once it's actually out. Okay, next is telemedicine. So this is like your, what do you call that? Basically you actually see the doctor online, instead of going to a doctor. So of course with COVID, now this one is actually very popular. Now you can actually just go and see a doctor via Zoom rather than see him face to face. Okay, but telemedicine actually there is a lot more rooms to grow. Like number one, you can have hybrid care. Okay, this one I think quite okay. Number two, you can have AI and data analytics. So basically, you plus all the wearables, so on and so forth. Okay, so it's no longer just like, telemedicine is just like, okay, I just do a Zoom call to see a doctor. Not so, it's not just that. So basically, it can also include all the data that's been collated from all the wearables. Then after that, it can actually do diagnostic, make better decision by the doctor. And this is something very interesting to me, specialized telehealth. So basically, apparently next time the doctors can even do surgery without being next to you. So I'm quite sure now currently a lot of surgery is actually by robots. Of course, you need someone to control the robots that is at somewhere else. So apparently next time, the doctor don't even need to be in the hospital. While this patient is undergo surgery in the hospital, the doctor can be somewhere else doing the surgery. Also, telemedicine is actually very huge. Not just your doctor anywhere. Is it? Yeah, doctor anywhere. Just go and see doctor on the Zoom. No, can even do things like surgery. Then of course, psychiatric. So that one is actually quite okay lah. Do Zoom, do psychiatric treatment. I think that's or at least consulting. I think that one is already happening. Okay, wearable technology, remote monitoring. Okay, I think this is said already. So of course, this is also a subset of telemedicine. So next time, the doctors don't just see you, they can also collect all this data with the wearable technology. And lastly, it's actually quite interesting is this. So currently, because of policies, the telemedicine are still localized. But seriously, there's actually nothing stopping us from globalizing it. So next time, can you imagine our choice for doctor is so wide? We no longer have to just see doctors in Singapore. And if let's say for whatever reasons, we want to see a Korean doctor or US doctor and things like that, it's actually possible and we don't have to fly there. Okay, so again, I see a lot of huge growth potential in this area. So that's why I'm actually quite interested. So health tech caught my attention because of these three things: telemedicine, wearables, and personalized medicine, which I think that the adoption rate will be high. People will be very happy to embrace all this technology, and there's a lot of demand, a lot of growth potential for this area. Okay, thank you CW for sharing a robotic surgery, intuitive surgical. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So yes, there's actually company doing that. Appreciate your sharing. Okay, so this is the third technology trend that I have interest in. I talk about blockchain. I talk about EV, AV. I've actually talked about health tech. So any questions or comments on health tech before I move on? Okay, no. Okay, if not, then I'll talk about my fourth. Okay, thank you so much. The fourth tech trend that I'm actually very interested is augmented reality. Okay, what is augmented reality? Again, I let the expert speak rather than me do the talking. Okay, now I just want to explain a little bit more what's the difference between AR and VR. So AR is augmented reality, VR is virtual reality. So I also didn't know until, frankly, until research. So AR is simply just adding the digital element to a live view. So you can do it by camera on smartphone. Okay, like for example, Pokemon Go is AR. VR is usually the immersive experience. That is where you have to wear the mask. And of course, going forward, maybe you can actually put on the gloves, so on and so forth. That one is VR. Okay, so there's actually a difference between AR and VR. Okay. Now, usage of AR, like for example, medical training. So as you can see, so of course, sometimes they use interchangeably. That means AR and VR together. Okay, like for example, this person, he's actually wearing the VR goggle. But the using AR technology, then probably this is what he actually see in the goggles, whereby you can see the human, breaking down into the different human system that we actually have. Okay, medical training. So that's one application that's actually being highlighted. Then we have interior design. So I think that one's actually shared in the video already. Okay. Okay, classrooms. So next time probably it's actually going to be a lot more fun. We can have like, I don't know, like Pokemon Go, that kind of activities more often. Entertainment, and of course the retail lah. So as per what the video has mentioned, we could just try on different clothes on the AR platform. We can actually try on different makeups, so on and so forth, rather than physically go and actually do the makeups and so forth. Okay, that's AR. Okay, any questions on AR? If not, the last sector that actually caught my attention is robotics. And again, I just want to share a video about, where are we now in terms of robotics. Okay, so robotics, again, something very interesting. So with that, I actually have explained, or I did give further details of the 5 industry that actually caught my attention, or either 5 technological trend that actually caught my attention. So maybe I just want to share with you here a bit more. Okay, like how do I actually get all this? So of course I go and Google. This article came out. Maybe I just want to very quickly just show you this article. Yeah. Okay, so basically it actually shows all the 24 different new technological trend. And I actually pick up 5 that what is actually very interesting to me. And the idea is, if let's say I want to invest in them, okay, how do I actually invest in all this different new technology now? So of course, if you're interested, you can actually just go to this article and see what are the different technology you're interested in, or what are the things that you may actually want to invest in. Okay. Okay, so the 5 I've chosen again is blockchain, EVAV, health tech, augmented reality, and robotics.